Alright, we got another highly anticipated one here with Take-Two, and it is trading very strangely after hours. What can I say? It was up 3% in the normal trading session. Then after hours, it jumped up upwards of 5.5%, and now sitting around 3% downward. It's a weird kind of shift there. My guess is it probably was a conference call related thing, and people started selling. So let's take a look at the earnings and see what they did. Obviously, this is highly anticipated because this is a perfect time for video games. These companies are finally showing growth after all this time where the video game market's been so just lackluster. Not much in terms of growth. It's been stagnant and seeing declines year over year. But now with recent stay-at-home and lockdown orders, people have been playing a lot more video games. So it's been a very beneficial environment for these companies, not only this quarter, but next quarter is probably going to be better for them even. So Take-Two reported a GAAP EPS of $7, which missed by 17 cents. Not that great. It's not unexpected to see a miss here. I mean, given the current climate, I don't judge a company too hard for missing the EPS standpoint. There's a lot of costs that go into this right now. We talk about not only people working from home, what that really can cost a company in productivity, but also the people that are working in the office. Most likely, there's a lot more costs associated with sanitation and everything like that. I mean, you see recently one of the employees of McDonald's is trying to sue them because apparently they weren't going through enough effort at the store that they were working at. It's crazy. Employees will rat you out in a heartbeat if they want some money. So it's just a hard environment right now that companies have to be on top of it. So you expect a lot more expenses there. From a net bookings perspective or revenue perspective, $29 million, which was an increase of nearly 50% year over year. They beat by $143 million. That is a massive beat. That's right. You were waiting for it. That's a very big beat. They were expecting good numbers anyways, but just a good quarter for them as far as that net bookings number, and that's probably why it shot up pretty quickly after hours, because that is a ridiculous number there. So shares will resume trading at 4:25 p.m. and they halted trading for a little bit of weird stuff. Recurrent consumer spending, including virtual currency, particularly if you think about the NBA games, the 2K games. Typically, this virtual currency will be most of the money they get there really is from these NBA 2K series. That's where people spend a lot of money on that, unfortunately. Add-on content and in-game purchases rose 40% and made up 54% of the net revenue. Net bookings for recurring spending rose 47% and made up 61% of the total net bookings. Biggest contributors were obviously NBA 2K20 and NBA 2K19. Grand Theft Auto Online, people spending virtual currency on that is insane. And GTA 5, people are still buying the crap out of that video game after 10 years. Or it's been 8 years, I don't know, 8 years maybe. But GTA Online still got a big audience. And it's actually, in my opinion, I think it's coming back. It's growing pretty rapidly. People are doing a lot more GTA Online stuff. At least if you look at social media, you see a lot. You see a lot of really content, videos, whatever you want to say. There's definitely a lot going on around GTA Online. GAAP net income rose 116% for the quarter too. But you also see some key players in Red Dead 2, Borderlands, Sid Meier's Civ 6, Social Point's mobile games, and WWE Supercard and WWE 2K20. I forgot they had WWE. Let's look at this lovely earnings slide. Sorry, it's not slides. They lied to me. They really lied to me. So, let's see, reporting tax rate of 17%, not bad. You see a, that's not really a chart I like to look at. So, net bookings, which is an interesting thing, because obviously they don't mention it as revenue, but net bookings is defined as the net amount of products and services sold digitally and sold in physical and sold in physically during the period, and including licensing fees, merchandising, in-game advertising, strategy guides, and publishing incentives. So it's, in other words, net revenue. Haha, just saying. So for highlights, GAAP net revenue grew 16% to $3.08 billion, as compared to $2.66 billion in last year. Recurrent spending increased 29% and accounted for 45% of the GAAP net revenue. As we mentioned, digitally delivered, we talked about that already. It is nice to see that GAAP net income line of $404 million versus $330 million in the last year's quarter. Pretty nice. Or this is full year. That is for full year. So for the full year, they brought in $400 million versus last year's $330 million. So it is a good growth, 21% year over year in terms of the total years. GAAP net revenue, good, or GAAP net income. You do like to see that. Our significantly better than expected fourth quarter results concluded another extraordinary year for Take-Two, during which we achieved numerous milestones, including net bookings of $3 billion, as well as recording a record digitally net bookings from recurrent revenue spending, and earnings, says Strauss Zelnick. Pretty exciting. So all their titles were outperforming, is what they're saying. We don't care much about the really response there. But since January 1st, we're seeing the business and product highlights in terms of the Rockstar Games portion of their business, which you'll know from Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption. They released new free content updates for GTA Online. That's right, they're still releasing content updates for this game after 8 years. What can I say? Open wheels racing, a new racing mode, 9 additional new vehicles, new clothing, new free content updates for Red Dead Redemption 2 and online. Photo mode and story mode editions, pretty interesting, which were originally available on PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia, and brought to Xbox One, alongside new clothing and emotes for Red Dead Online players. Emotes, baby, it's all about emotes. Gameplay variations and new maps for the Showdown series in Overrun, Spoils of War, Plunder, Up in Smoke, and Name Your Weapon, and new clothing items. Announced numerous critical and commercial achievements across platforms, including GTA and Red Dead. GTA 5 was the best-selling video game of the past decade in the U.S. That's right, as I mentioned. Both unit and dollar sales. It was always on the top 10 list. Always. It's crazy. Even to this day, it's still in the top 10 every single month. They announced, let's see, Red Dead Redemption was the top title of the last 4 years based on U.S. dollar sales. Rockstar Games dominate. They sell money. There's print money on those. They sell those games so much. I forgot how to speak. GTA Online had the biggest series back-to-back updates ever in terms of player numbers. That's right. What a shocker. Red Dead Online hit peak player numbers in December following the release of the latest update. So from 2K, they announced, together with the NFL, a multi-year partnership encompassing multiple feature video games. That's right, 2K making NFL games. I'm super excited about this because back in the day, they made the best football games. They just did. They were the most fluid. The animations still hold up to today. Graphics not so much. But back in 2K, 2K6, 2K8 for NFL, they didn't have the rights to the players, but now they have the rights to the players. That's right. The partnership marks the return of football game. It'll be exciting. I'm super excited to see what will go on there. So the games will be non-simulation football game experiences, which I don't know what that means for me, but I don't know if that excites me as much. I like the sim style. Will launch in the calendar year 2021. So exciting. Released XCOM Chimera Squad. It's an all-new standalone title of the XCOM series. They launched Guns, Love, and Tentacles, A Marriage of Wainwright and Hammerlock, the second campaign add-on for Borderlands. That's cool. Borderlands 3, I should say. I haven't played Borderlands 3, but that's pretty cool. Paid add-ons. People are very into that series, so they launched, together with Gearbox Software, Borderlands Science, an interactive game within Borderlands 3 that invites players to map the human gut microbiome to advance vital medical studies while earning in-game rewards. That's weird. That seems really weird, but that's cool. It is really cool, but it seems weird. They announced WWE 2K Battlegrounds, a completely new WWE gaming experience. It'll feature arcade-style action. That's cool if you're into the series. They announced 2K Silicon Valley, the label's wholly owned development studio, founded in February 2019 and led by video game industry veteran Michael Condrey. Yeah, that's pretty cool. NBA 2K League started in 2020 regular season on May 5th. Pretty cool for that. Sid Meier's Civ 6 New Frontier Pass. PGA Tour 2K21 is planned to launch on August 21st. Yeah, I haven't played really a golf game in a little while, but I'm all in for golf. I like golf. They announced the Mafia trilogy, which combines all three Mafia titles in a single package. Pretty exciting. Will release on May 19th. Or on May 19th, Mafia 2 and Mafia 3 launched as part of the collection, while Mafia 1 will become available later this summer. Okay, that's pretty cool. And Bioshock the Collection, XCOM 2 Collection, and Borderlands Legendary Collection are planned for the Nintendo Switch. From Private's division, they announced Kerbal Space Program 2 is being moved to fall 2021 and will launch on PS4, Xbox, and PC. Due to delays due to the current issue. Announced a partnership with the European Space Agency to launch a new Kerbal Space Program update. Interesting. Announced that disintegration. That makes sense now. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. I mean, those things aren't exciting. We'll look at these balance sheet real quick. Sorry, I got distracted. They did this in thousands. Okay. And they're giving me a year-over-year, which I like. From a total current assets perspective, they got $3.5 billion versus a $2.8 billion number last year. $5 billion in terms of total assets in general versus 4.2. Good increase year-over-year. Total liabilities of 2.4 versus 2.2. Total liabilities rose a little bit, but overall, you see a total equity for shareholders of $2.5 billion, which is nice. It's a good balance sheet for this company. The valuation, I think, is slightly stretched for this. If you think about the EPS hits they're going to take, I think it's slightly stretched. Not awful, but slightly stretched, okay? But I see EPS growth and improvement. Valuation's just slightly stretched. I don't know. This downward movement, I think, is good for it. I'm not saying anything negative about it, but it is up 20% this year, which is kind of crazy to see something up 20% this year. After having, it's really been on a big bull run too. All things considered, in the last 5 years, up 430%. It's pretty massive, but that's really all I got for you today, and I really hope you enjoyed.